Welcome to the RotoWire DFS show. I'm Adam Zdroik, joined by myself. So DraftKings, just didn't want to release prices at a reasonable time. We got the holiday weekend coming up. We had Jordan, Ryan, and Jack ready to do the show at the normal time, but the prices did not come out until about 3 p.m. Eastern. So I don't know, what is that? 18 hours before before the slate actually starts. So unfortunately, if you care about this stuff, just email support at DraftKings.com. Just tell them to get the prices out a little sooner, and then there'll be some more content out for them. Maybe tweet at DK Assist, something like that. But we don't even have the cheat sheet up on the site yet. Our API has not updated yet, so I'm just using the FanDuel cheat sheet as usual. RotoWire.com/soccer trial. 48-hour trial. This is going to be a quick show. I'm not going to be talking an hour by myself about a 4-game slate. It's late in the day, and I got a lot of packing to do. I got a lot of driving to do. I got a lot of packing to do. So let's look at this slate here. We got 4 games. Tottenham home, Everton. Newcastle are the biggest favorite at Luton Town. You can take that for what you want. Newcastle have been running on fumes for a while. I think I've been saying that for a couple weeks. They just aren't the same team away from home. You also have Luton Town, kind of I don't know if bounce back's the right word, but Tom Lockyer went down. He is healthy now, but this is the first game after Tom Lockyer went down with his cardiac arrest. So they're kind of playing. So Luton Town have already been a more successful team at home, and they're playing for Tom Lockyer to an extent here in this spot. So that's kind of why Newcastle aren't. I mean, that's obviously not playing into the odds, but something I'll be looking at in terms of betting. If you're looking into betting, we also have articles up. We have another show, RotoWire Soccer YouTube. We got a betting show that's up as well. Also, actually, just talking, we have in that betting show. If you're not into betting, you don't want to watch that betting show. We gave out our top 3 Christmas cookies, and I'm going to release that video separately on Christmas Day. So make sure you're tuned into the top 3 Christmas cookies. That was a fun chat there. But getting back to this slate. I don't know. Does this slate matter? Who knows? We'll see what happens Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Fulham are home against Burnley. Pretty good spot. I'd actually argue Fulham home against Burnley is a better spot than Newcastle away to Luton Town. Fulham have won their last 2 home matches 5-0, 5-0. And I think the correct number is they've scored 16 goals in their last 5 home games. And one of those home games was a 1-0 loss against Manchester United. Tottenham are home against Everton. Everton, it's technically a top 10 battle between Tottenham and Everton. If you take away the 10-point drop for Everton, they are a top 10 team. They are 10th place. They've been playing really well. They just dropped out against Fulham on Tuesday in the EFL Cup. And then, of course, this is the FanDuel cheat sheet. We're not talking Liverpool, Arsenal. And we have Bournemouth, our slight favorite at Nottingham Forest. Looking at the lineups here. So Basuma is suspended, Udogie is suspended, so that means maybe Højbjerg comes in, maybe Lo Celso comes in, probably Emerson getting the start, maybe at left back, probably. That's what it seems like. And I guess there's probably not a slight chance. I was going to say Eric Dyer maybe comes in, and then that pushes Ben Davies out to left back. I guess that could happen. Brennan Johnson, he's good to go. Picked up that gash in his head last game. We could see Michaelenko start. We could see something else going on for left back. Michaelenko's been out for a little more than a week. Doucouré is out for Everton. So this is what they did on Tuesday. Garner, Gay, and Onana all started, I should say. It seems like Nathan Patterson's going to be the guy starting again because Coleman and Ashley Young still aren't 100%. Those are the worries there for Everton. Nottingham Forest. This is the first match. If you're into new manager bumps, Nuno Espirito Santo, first match for him. I'm not sure it's an exciting manager signing for Nottingham Forest. We'll see what their lineup looks like. You can't really know for certain how they're going to line up. But at Wolverhampton, I know Nuno did a bunch of three center back kind of lineups, 3-4-2-1s, 3-4-3s. So we'll see how they line up here in his first game. He's only had about 3-4 days worth of training with this team. So. Steve Cooper out. Maybe we'll get better injury updates from Nuno, but he did not have any injury updates at his first press conference. Bournemouth are playing well. One thing to keep an eye on. So we're unsure about Milos Kerkez here. So he has a foot issue. I don't think he was basically pictured with a boot on by his. I'm just double checking here, what his actual status is here. But so I put Chris Mepham in. It could be really anyone. They don't really have another left back, so something to keep an eye on for who's going to be playing fullback for Bournemouth and if they're going to line up in the same 4-2-3-1 formation. Semenyo also pick something up. He went 45 minutes last match. I think those are the main worries there. Luton Town without Lockyer, got Gabriel Osho or Mads Jewell Anderson back in the lineup. Nakamba remains suspended. He was suspended for the last game because that game was postponed, he is suspended for this game. So it's basically back-to-back suspensions for Nakamba. Fortunately for him, Ogbeni is healthy though. Carlton Morris an option here. So that just means Barkley and Lukonga probably going to start in the midfield again for Luton Town. Newcastle, Gordon, I think he's going to be fine. Callum Wilson probably going to start again because Isak's, I think Eddie Howe said this morning that he was about 50-50. I don't believe Joelinton or Fabian Schär will be ready, but there's a chance they're at least on the bench. We'll see who lines up here. Kieran Trippier already had another massive blunder for Newcastle on Tuesday. I think he remains in the starting 11, but I think he's going to be dropped for one of these games over the holidays. Sven Botman's been back. There is a chance where it could be Sven Botman dropped to the bench. Dan Burn goes to center back, and then Livramento remains at left back. So something to watch out for. And Fulham, we'll see how they line up. It could be Harry Wilson instead of Willian. It could be Rodrigo Muniz over Carlos Vinicius. I think those are the main things there. And then Burnley are Burnley. So there you go. Let me pull up prices. So I asked Ryan Belangi what his thoughts were. He said jam Pedro Porro or maybe it's just play Pedro Porro and jam Fulham, I think is what he said to me. So you can take that strategy. My initial thought was pretty much in every lineup, I'm just going to have Porro and Trippier. I'm not 100% on Trippier just because of at Luton Town and what he's actually looked like these last few matches. But again, I believe he did come off the bench against Chelsea and then had that massive mistake and then missed his PK. But still, it's hard to go against Trippier with all the set pieces in a matchup against Luton Town. I do think Pedro Porro should be like 9K. He's 7,500 on the slate. So definitely in cash games, you're playing Trippier and Porro, and then it's kind of built from there. Otherwise, in cash games, Tavernier is 9,200, Andreas Pereira 7,400. Just kind of listing guys out here. Dwight McNeil is 9,500. I'm not sure you want to go there. That's kind of pricey playing at Tottenham. Probably a difficult spot to go. Morgan Gibbs White is 8,100. Not the worst price, but Nottingham Forest have been bad. But again, maybe get the new manager bounce. I think Morgan Gibbs White can be considered. I'd just keep an eye on what their lineup actually looks like. Home against Bournemouth. Recently maybe hasn't been a good matchup, but still, historically, this is a decent spot for Nottingham Forest, even though they're a home underdog here. Those are, as we get into set piece takers, those are all the main players. As I mentioned, the Fulham forward situation. So we could have a situation where Rodrigo Muniz starts for Fulham, and he may be, one of those chalk forwards. He's 3,700. Home against Burnley. If he starts, he's going to be very popular. So Raul Jimenez is suspended. He's 6,100. Carlos Vinicius is the other option to start. He's 5,800. I guess we also have Bobby Dacover-Reed at 5,400. But Muniz, 3,700. He would be, I'd say, in cash games, you're looking at maybe over, I don't know if I want to say over 50%. But look at the odds here, plus 160. Pretty good. Pretty good odds when you consider the pricing of the Suns, the Tottenham players. Really, I also actually like. Speaking of Tottenham, I do like Brennan Johnson here. He is fit. He got bashed in the head. No concussion suffered in that game against Nottingham Forest. So that also meant he only had 32 minutes in that game. So he didn't run around as much as these other guys. So that game was what, 15th. So I guess that was already a week ago anyway. But a guy that's going to get 80 plus minutes home against Everton. Everton have been playing well, but at 6,600, when you're comparing, okay, Son is 10.1K, and you're basically hoping for a goal or assist from him. Richarlison has been on pretty decent form here, 3 goals the last 2 games. He's 8,200. So if you just look at the other pieces in that attack, Brendan Johnson, if you're getting 80 plus minutes from him at 6,600, someone to consider. If Muniz doesn't start for Fulham and you're kind of looking at it like I'm kind of screwed here, Justin Cliver is 4K for Bournemouth, and he's been starting a bunch of these matches. His numbers have been pretty bad overall, but again, against Nottingham Forest, 70 minutes against Nottingham Forest, at that point, it's just like, why not? Let's just run with it, kind of a thing. In the midfield, I mentioned Tavernier, I mentioned Pereira. It seems like another slate where the Newcastle midfielders are all pretty cheap. Bruno Guimaraes was actually, I think he took some set pieces in the last game without Trippier, but obviously he's not going to be doing that again, assuming Trippier starts. But Guimaraes is 6K. I guess there's a slight chance Matt Ritchie, 6,600. If Anthony Gordon isn't ready to start, you would be looking at possibly Matt Ritchie to start. Miguel Almiron, 7,800. Won't be looking at that in cash games, but Longstaff, 5K. Lewis Miley, 4.6K. So if we see, Joelinton not in the team because of his injury, and we have all these cheaper Newcastle players going against Luton Town, I think all these cheap Newcastle midfielders can be looked at. Just if you're looking to save money somewhere, I don't know about maybe utility, maybe as your second midfielder, depending if you're doing both Tavernier and Andreas Pereira. So that's what you're looking at in the midfield. So Fulham, I'd say, have the best spot. So Willian, I guess if Willian starts, that's where your first question will be. He won't be very popular because he's 8,500 and he's not 100% healthy. We actually haven't really heard anything. He went off with some kind of head issue. Had a collision with I forget who it was on Everton on Tuesday, but I think Willian's going to be fine. If he starts, 8,500, won't be popular, but always in play for a goal. Probably going to be on PKs as well. Iwobi has been really good, but again, just another guy who's pretty much 75 to 80 minutes every start. Harry Wilson, 6,300. Kearney, 5,700. Paulinho, another one of those midfielders who are sitting there at 5,100. Kind of in the range of those Newcastle guys where, guy could pop up with some shots, maybe pop up with a goal kind of a thing. So you have these cheaper midfielders if you need the money instead of, forcing in like a set piece day. You're forcing in Tavernier at 9,200 away from home kind of a thing. So you have options in terms of that. Who else are we talking about? We got a few people listening live, so any questions, let me know. This isn't going to be too long. I'm not going to be going too much longer here. Just looking at what we have here. Tottenham home. Okay. Newcastle. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's not too much to talk about. I kind of mentioned every single player that needs to be mentioned for the most part. Let's look at defenders for a little bit. Mentioned Trippier, mentioned Porro. I think Anthony Robinson, if you're already on those two defenders, I think Anthony Robinson is a fine utility play at 5,600. Nico Williams, kind of tentative here because we don't know how Nuno is going to manage, not Wolverhampton, going to manage Nottingham Forest here. So Nico Williams had gone 90 minutes in the last 2 matches and playing as a wing back. Obviously, a decent role there for him at 5,300 at home against Bournemouth. So that'll be a thing where you look out for the formation. You look out to see maybe not even who's on the bench. Serge Aurier infamously was kind of cut off from Tottenham when Nuno was in charge there. So I'm not sure Serge has won back the respect of Nuno or not. And he would be an option to come on for Nico Williams. Just something there. Harry Toffolo is down there as well. Just another guy who has seen his numbers go up a little bit as Nottingham Forest has not only reverted to wingbacks and Toffolo and Nico Williams, but those guys are also going full 90s. Again, new manager, so it's kind of hard to read that situation. But I think this is in cash games. I think we're looking at a 3 defender slate in cash games, maybe even tournaments, because if you have these wing backs, you have Anthony Robinson, you have even Castagna. Where is he? Costanza, 4,300. Home against Burnley. He subbed off early in that last game. Kenny Tete is available again, so that's always a worry in that situation. So then you also have Livramento. He's creeping up in price at 4,600. So you just have a lot of options in favorable spots. Nottingham Forest guys, the Fulham guys, and then you got Porro and Trippier. So a lot of defenders that are pretty easy to click, and it depends if you like there to be goals in a lot of these matches. The implied totals aren't too high. The highest implied total is this Tottenham Everton match, but I wouldn't guarantee that there's going to be goals in this game. I think, Everton are on 4 straight clean sheets in league play. The goal allowed against Fulham on Tuesday was an own goal. All the other matches implied goal totals below 3. One of those is Newcastle, who have really struggled on the road. Fulham against Burnley. Burnley have been better defensively lately. And then who knows what we're getting with Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. So you got a lot of options to go. I haven't really looked too far in this slate because it just came out, and I wanted to get this out before my Friday, before my packing on Friday started. You have, if you want to go to center backs, I'm just scrolling through the list right now. Nothing really stands out here for the favorites. Kelvin Bassey, everyone's favorite center back for Fulham. If he starts, he's 2,900. The other guys, Adebayo is 3,500. Issa Diop's 3,100. With the doubt of Fabian Schär, Dan Burns 4K, Botman's 3,200. I'm not sure Botman will be ready for another full 90, but Lascelles is right there for 2,900. Not too high on those guys. Didn't mention Kabore yet. Home against Newcastle. I don't think this is the worst spot for Luton Town. So I actually like a lot of these guys. Doughty kind of pricey at 6,800, but why not in tournaments? He's not going to be looked at much. I think Luton Town. I think this is a spot where Luton Town can get a point here, but you're still probably going to need an assist from Doughty there. Who else would we want to play from center back? I don't know. No one else really stands out. Everyone can play Cristiano Romero, I guess, if that's what you're into. I'm not sure about the Everton center backs at Tottenham. Branthwaite's 2,600, so pretty cheap there. But I mean, we look at the clean sheet odds. Fulham are at 40%, Newcastle 34%, and I like the Fulham. I like Fulham in terms of clean sheet. Just going in goalkeeper now. Burn Leno is 5,500. If you want to spend up, I would go Burn Leno. I like the spot a little more for Fulham than Newcastle at Luton Town, and also for Tottenham home against Everton. Though I do think Vicario is in play as well. I guess technically all these goalkeepers are in play. I would say if you spend down though, I think my favorite's Kaminsky. He's already a guy that usually makes a decent amount of saves. Last time he had less than 3 saves in a game was home against Burnley on October 3rd, if that says anything. So he's making saves pretty much against everyone. Home against Crystal Palace a month ago, he made 7 saves in a 2-1 win. I think this is a great spot for Kaminsky to get saves. You're facing a tired Newcastle team that's going to have probably not rotation because there's no one really to rotate in unless we're talking Matt Ritchie here, unless we're talking Lewis Hall, but those guys just really haven't gotten the minutes. So if you spend down, I would say Kaminsky is the play. I'll probably be playing a decent amount of Kaminsky because I don't want to play Trafford at Fulham because I think Fulham are going to score a couple. Pickford at Tottenham, not terrible. Pickford, I'd say another option given how many clean sheets they've gotten. Nottingham Forest, do you want to trust Matt Turner, who I think passed the ball? Who was that last game against? He passed the ball right to someone that led to a goal. Tottenham passed it right to Kulishevsky, I believe. But they're home against Bournemouth. Bournemouth are playing well, and then Neto is 4,900 at Nottingham Forest. So that's what I got here. 20 minutes, like I said, I don't really have too much to say. If we want to go how to win King of the Pitch, how to win some of these tournaments. Probably look at, since I'm going with a couple Fulham goals, I want to see who's playing. I might look at Kearney because even though he's listed as a defensive midfielder here, he's been in a lot of attacking positions and he will be in play for a goal or assist. Maybe pair him with someone. We'll see who starts at forward for him. I do like Iwobi, but his minutes are somewhat worrying, though. Granted, I think because of all these matches, there's not going to be a lot of guaranteed 90 minutes outside of like your Solankis, I don't know, James Garner and Dwight McNeil. Outside of guys like that, there's, especially for a team like Fulham, not many of these players are guaranteed for 90 minutes. Pereira, Willian, Iwobi, whoever starts at forward. None of those front four for Fulham are guaranteed for even more than 80 minutes. So if you want to worry about that, you can. But granted, okay, it's a great matchup. So if you think they're going to score, then maybe you don't even worry about minutes, kind of a thing. So Fulham, I'd say probably going to be the most popular route in tournaments, just because home against Burnley. A lot of people just hate on Burnley, which is a correct take. So a lot of people are going to look to Fulham. I'm not sure how many people will look at this Tottenham Everton match. Son is pretty expensive. Richarlison may be a popular route just because of his form, and he is a little cheaper than Son, and he's in this number 9 role a little bit while Son is coming off the edge. Son, though, getting a lot of assists playing on this wing role. So do you want to play some of these Everton guys? I don't know. I don't know if I'm too into Everton. Dwight McNeil is just too expensive here at Tottenham for 9,500. Why not play any of these Nottingham Forest guys? Again, we'll see how their lineup looks. Just pair Toffolo or pair Nico Williams with whoever, Alanga, Chris Wood, maybe not Chris Wood. Maybe we'll get Callum Hudson-Odoi to start. Maybe pair Gibbs White with whoever as well. Places to go there, and then maybe it's a Solanke slate. Can we trust Nottingham Forest with Nuno Espirito? Maybe, maybe not. Always a place to go. Then, as I said, I think we're getting I think both these teams are scoring in this Luton. Maybe I won't. I do like the under, though. So I'd say that I think this has like a 1-1 type of game written on it. So maybe you guess a goal here. I think I'm actually just going to fade this game, this Luton Town Newcastle one, because I think Newcastle away from home have been playing, because of their lack of bodies, they have been playing a little more defensive. But is it worth it to put some tournament lineup together here? Nah, I think we're good. I think we're good. That'll just take up 5 minutes. Let's see. So a couple Fulham guys. Do we want Dowdy in this lineup? Do we want? I don't know if I want Adebayo. This is a really tough slate in terms of finding goals. I don't think this isn't a slate where it's like, okay, we have a bunch of home favorites who look really great. The home favorites here, I guess there's only 2 home favorites. So you got 2 away favorites, 2 home favorites. Fulham just kind of stands out here as the one place that you want to attack. So yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for watching the show. Sorry we didn't have a little more. We are going to have an article up on the site. Our guy Ian Folletti is going to write up a DK article for everyone. But check that out, RotoWire.com. You're also going to need a subscription for that, RotoWire.com/soccer trial, 48-hour trial. Again, we'll be busy in the Discord, RotoWire.com/chat to get into the Discord. Sorry this wasn't more in-depth or more helpful without the legends of Jordan, Jack, and Ryan. But this is what happens Friday afternoon with holiday travel going on. And yeah, that's all I got. So good luck on the slate. See you in the Discord. We'll see what kind of DFS content we have out over the next 10 days. There's going to be a lot of slates. Who knows when the prices are going to come out? You have to ask DraftKings about that one. But thanks for watching this show. See you in the lobby. Good luck to everyone, and happy holidays.